Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in with Thom. My name is Thom Jennings from the Niagara Gazette and Lockport Union Sun and Journal. As promised, I told you I'd bring you some great musical guests, and we got one of the best around here, Dave Viterna. Dave, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hello.
Now, listen, if you don't know Dave, Dave is, we're actually in Orleans County at 810 Meadworks. And Dave, you are from Medina, New York, but you spent a lot of time playing out in Buffalo and Erie County and those areas?
We're pretty much kind of a Buffalo band at this point, but we played in Orleans County for years. I've been playing for 40 years, so I played Genesee County, Orleans County, Niagara County. We still play Niagara County. Play a little bit in Monroe here and there. You know, we try to spread it around, but there's only so many days. You know,
so when did you start playing guitar? I mean, I know you've been doing it for quite a while.
Started playing guitar. Learned how to play the guitar when I was probably about 72. I was probably 11, 12 years old. My brother had a guitar. And I started playing professionally in 79. And I've been playing steady since 79.
So 72, I guess if I was just going to throw out a guess, some of your musical influences, I mean, that's sort of the beginning of the prog rock era, the end of the Beatles era. I mean, who were the bands that really influenced you?
I'm a little behind that. I like a lot of the 50s music. Buddy Holly was a big influence. My first huge influence was Clapton, pre-72, 74 Clapton. Cream, Hendrix, Animals, things like that, Kinks. I never really got into a lot of the later 70s stuff. To this day, we pretty much are early 70s, late 60s.
So a lot of those kind of British invasion guys, the ones that picked up some of the American stuff. So he said Clapton, you mentioned the Kinks, Dave Davies, and of course Buddy Holly. You know, a lot of those guys are used to playing some of those big chords.
And as far as like the blues, you know, like John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, anything in the 50s, you know, like the Stones, things like that. I like a lot of the British interpretations of the blues. As far as like, you know, pop rock, things like that, I never was much of a follower of that, you know.
Remember your first album by any chance?
Well, my first album, we did 98, but I had done recordings, I had done albums before that. My first record I ever played on was in 1980 with Dave Brown. It was country. I cut my teeth playing country, western music with Dave Brown. We did our first record in 80, but I've done records since. But the first official Dave Viterna stuff was 98 and 2000. I have other records that I've prepared to record. You know, I've recorded, but I've released. You know, that whole scene for me is a little tough as far as selling CDs and stuff these days.
How about memorable gigs? I mean, I saw you open up for the Yardbirds. That was a great show out in Buffalo.
That was a recent memorable gig. That was cool. We opened up for Eric Gales too. You know, recently, but my earlier times were really cool. We opened for Dickie Betts and Great Southern in like 85, 86. In Badfinger, we opened up for. We got to hang out. It was pretty cool. I went up for Dickie a couple times. One of my big influences was Cub Coda from Brownsville Station. We opened up for him several times, quite a bit actually. Taught me a lot. One of the things he taught me, he'd come out, you know, we'd open the show, you know. I was young, I think that's pretty good. And he'd kill me. He'd destroy me every time. Finally one day I said, Cub, what am I not doing that you're doing? And he just goes, you don't play like you mean it. And the next time I opened up for him, he come up to me and he goes, now you're playing like you mean it. So I'm going to have to work to kick your ass.
That's a great story. Brownsville Station, is that Smoking in the Boys' Room?
Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Okay, yeah.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
Martian Boogie, my friend Jack. He was great. He was a big influence. Just rock. He was like a historian. And if you look him up, I mean, he was a writer and a disc jockey and like a brilliant rock and roll historian, blues. He knew everything.
Awesome. Favorite venues to play in the Buffalo area? Any kind of come to top of mind?
Oh, I do so many gigs in Buffalo. I love playing Buffalo. We play great gigs at Tudor, GFY, Transit, Abbey Square. Trowelf was cool. I know I'm going to forget somebody, so there's more.
Well, I got to throw one more name at you. This is the Niagara Gazette. So one of our favorite native sons in the Niagara area is, of course, Jamie Hoka.
Oh,
and
love
we love Jamie. So I don't know. How about some kind words for another one of my favorite guitarists in the world,
I think
Mr.
that
Jamie
Jamie
Hoka.
is one of the most talented guitarists you're ever going to see. I think he's great with the band, and his solo work is just so amazing, and it's just his signature, and it's one of those things where it's a very individual thing he does, and I see him going far, far, far. I told him this many times. He's got something that other people don't, and it's very unique. And he's real blessed. We're blessed to have him, too.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people could say the same about you. I mean, honestly, I've been watching you play for many years. We used to do some open mics together and everything like that.
Yeah, well, those were the days. Young lads.
Young lads. So listen, before we wrap up, I don't even have a request, but you've got your guitar, so obviously...
Yeah, I got to do a song for you.
All right, well, let's hear it.
It's Elmore James. Sky's crying. Look at the tears roll down the street. The sky's crying. Look at the tears roll down the street. I've been waiting till looking for my baby. I wonder where can she be? I saw my baby early one morning, and she was walking on down the street. I saw my baby early one morning, and she was walking on down the street. You know, it made me feel so good. Oh, till my poor heart skipped a beat. My baby don't love me no more. I got a bad, bad feeling. My baby don't love me no more. You know the sky's crying. Look at the tear roll down my nose.
Wow, amazing stuff, man. I'll tell you. Yeah, I remember when Stevie Ray Vaughan did a version of that song too. So that was a great song.
Oh yeah, he did a great version of it. That's the Elmore version.
Elmore James. All
Right.
right. Well, Dave, before we wrap up, thank you again very much for doing this. Where can people find out about you? You got a Facebook page, all that kind of good stuff?
Dave Viterna Group on Facebook, DaveViterna.com on the website.
Okay. Awesome. And of course, special thanks to my executive producer and cameraman and wife, Mrs. Jennings, who's holding the camera. Thank you, sweetheart. And of course, Trish over here, who we just is behind the scenes. But anyhow,
cheers.
And cheers to 810 Meadworks. Thank you very much for tuning in with Tom. We'll see you next week.